Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Cyber Hack. Today I want to go over a couple of things really interesting. I was reading the news and I was like just laughing to myself, which I found really interesting because I normally don't do that. And it had to do with cybersecurity related news, and it was more of how interesting times have evolved into I guess in short, I can just say it's like stupidity, or it's just I don't understand what it is. But let me show you guys really quick what I'm talking about. So apparently, this ransomware gang files a SEC complaint against a company that refuses to negotiate. And what the company didn't do was when they got compromised because they're a public traded company, they were supposed to notify the SEC within a 4-day period because that's what the article is stating, and they didn't do it. So, so in return, the person that hacked the company is filing a complaint saying that, hey, these guys are not following regulations. What are you gonna do about it? Which is like absurd, right? I mean, that's like someone walking into your house or breaking into your house and saying, "Hey, you didn't put an alarm up and you didn't notify the police in within the time that you realized that you got robbed or you got broken into." Although, I mean, that law doesn't exist because there's no law requiring you to call the police if someone breaks into your house. You can literally still get in trouble if you actually kill them, beat them, whatever it is. That's off topic though. That's besides the point, right? But this is a public traded company. This is from the SEC. I kind of like this picture here. Thought that was pretty interesting. Let me just blow this up a little bit and then I'll focus on. But I did want to go into some of the job uh, things related, job searches, and really interesting news. If you guys stick around, that I got a call from a friend a couple of days ago in regards to something really interesting, and I'll relay that message. But let me just go over this really briefly. I just wanted to see right here. Earlier today, the threat actors listed the software company Meridian Link on their data leak with a threat that they would leak alleged stolen data unless a ransom is paid within 24 hours. So Meridian Link is a public traded company, all right, and because of that, they have really strict regulations in regards to being compromised and what you're supposed to do when you're in a situation. So, long story short, according to the databreach.net, the ransomware gang said that the breach Meridian Link happened on November 7th and stole company data without encrypting systems, which is okay. That I guess that's a I guess uh hackers are getting a little bit more lenient now, and kind of just egging on the victims. Say, hey, I'm not gonna encrypt you, but I got your stuff. Ransomware actors said that it appears Meridian Link reached out, but we are yet to receive a message on their end to negotiate payment in exchange for not leaking the supposedly stolen data. So, from my experience, is that a lot of corporations are advised not to pay because even if you pay, you still run the risk of not receiving anything or the promise of, getting rid of the data that they stole. So, a lot of corporations, based on my experience, do not forego paying any type of ransom whatsoever. All right, that's not uncommon. All right, let's just put it that way. So let's get on, keep on going. The alleged lack of response from the company likely prompted the hackers to expert more pressure by sending a complaint to the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, which is the SEC, about Meridian Link not disclosing a cybersecurity incident that impacted customer data and operational information. That's a no-no. All right. I used to work for a healthcare company, and we got compromised. And it was kind of not a technical compromise, but in a way it was a technical compromise. And how do I even explain that, right? So a laptop was stolen physically from someone's car trunk, and it had information on there, patient information. It wasn't a technical hurdle, but it was uh, a physical, right? So, but it's still related to security. So how does that happen, right? So what was our remediation to that? We didn't know how much data was on this laptop. We don't know how much was offset, like meaning copied from databases onto a local file, and so on and so forth, and how much public PHI. We can only assume that it would have PHI because of the industry that we're in, which is healthcare, right? And the person that the laptop got stolen was a senior level and had permission at different departments, multiple departments, more than usual. Let's just put it that way. So our remediation efforts are the way we had to explain things was that, oh, we had to prove that it was encrypted. We had to prove that no one could extract the data from the hard drives if they even attempted to, right? So long story short, I mean, there's a lot of things you have to report. And because we don't know what we didn't know, we had to inform the authorities because there may have been the potential that it wasn't encrypted, maybe a potential that it may have been plus, thousands of records. Um, but we had to do the report because it was a physical laptop, and the laptop had value. Like even let's just say it was $1,000 or $2,000 laptop. We had to file a police report because we wanted to retrieve it. The best case, like if anyone ever found it, if it happened to land in a lost and found, or someone that was actually really honest and saw the laptop, and hey, I found this, and whatever the case is, we had to report it. And because we reported it, one thing led to another. How much data was on there? How much information was on there? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Anyway, I'm kind of dragging that on. But anyway, they failed to inform the SEC, so we did it for them plus 24 hours to pay. I read that and it just blew my mind. Criminals are criminals. One, criminals is being a criminal is bad enough. Like if you ever have to deal with one, is bad enough. But 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 if they have to report you on top of that, that's even worse. Like I can't even imagine. But I sorry guys, I just found that really intriguing and interesting because I'm dealing with a lot with this stuff right now. And I can't imagine if someone broke into my house and starts blaming me for like, I slipped and fell on your floor. Why is your floor wet? Why is your glass so clear? I ran into it. Like what the hell? Like, why is your dog barking at me? Or why is it biting me? I'm like, yo, this is basically what's happening, and this is crazy, crazy. And the worst part is the SEC is going to question the company, the organization, like, yeah, why didn't you report this? Now they're in trouble from both sides of the town, the good guys and the bad guys, which really sucks. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I had to bring that out. That we have to understand being a cybersecurity professional, you have to understand a lot of these stories. You have to read them. You have to know what's going on. You can't be siloed into, okay, I'm going to study for the CISSP. I'm going to study for the CA. You have to know real world situations because that's what experience brings. I can't tell you how many times I sat through an interview and I was able to bring real life stories, my challenges, my experience on things, right? When we had a breach, I was able to bring that information onto the table. Oh, what did we do when we ran into a situation? And I laid out the blocks, like A, we did this, B, we did this, and then C, we did this, and what was the remediation? How was the end goal? What happened at the very end? I got fired. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get fired. That wasn't my fault. It was never my fault. Always never take blame for anything. That's my experience. Never take blame. Uh, maybe sometimes. Uh, Minimal stuff. All right, like you forgot to not cross, but you had a spelling mistake in your email. I'll take that blame. But anyway, the other thing was a really good friend of mine called me or actually texted me the other day and say, hey, you're looking at the new CISO of this company. I was like, oh shoot, that's awesome, guy, right? And then we're congratulating him, talking to him, and I'm like, oh yeah, what kind of company is it? And he gave me all that information. I was like, great, great. I was like, you know what, if I'm ever looking, you make room for me. And he says, no problem. Which good friend, known him for years. And the other key thing to being in this industry is networking. Make sure you keep a tight knot or tight relationship with the people that you interact with within within your career, right? It could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be within IT or cybersecurity. Just as you're working, right? As you're building up your career and you're, even if you're in um, a food services industry right now and you're trying to break into cybersecurity or any other kind of profession, just make sure you don't break or burn those bridges, what most people would say. You want to keep ties with people who you know that can achieve and have potential and have goals going forward. But of course, you don't know what these people are capable of, but it's keeping the circle around you, the networking is really crucial. And, long story short is that's how, I've been friends with this person. And, achieved higher than me, right? Because I'm not a CISO by any means. And nor, honestly, I don't think I even want to be one. But the point is that, he went to that level. He enjoys doing that. He's been a CISO for many years now, and he has that experience. So companies are looking for him. Uh, the good thing is that because of that, and he knows I'm capable, I have a lot of experience on the technical side and I could lead a team. And, if he ever needs or wants to bring me in, he could bring me in, right? So, but I'm not looking anytime soon. So, that's always a wild card, like a Uno card, like turn it around kind of a card. Like if it doesn't work out, you're unhappy with a situation, and we'll give him a call and say, hey, you got anything going on? And he's done it once, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do it again, which will be pretty awesome. I know I'm just talking about, but the whole point of this was that, just keep your networking, keep close to people. Don't turn people away, no matter what industry you're working in. It could be you're selling mattresses. You don't know what these people would end up being later on in their future career, because I have come across and my experience that I've worked with people in different industries, even before getting into IT or getting into cybersecurity, and you'd be surprised how you can meet up with them or run into them and still have that communication years later, and all of a sudden something just happens and works out that way. I know top CEOs of companies now because I went to school with them, right? I'm in this weird time frame where I'm becoming a better professional, a higher level senior, I guess, in the organization, and the same people that I went to school with or I grew up with or know, they're in the same category, right? But they're achieving it at different levels. Who knows? Maybe I would be a CISO one day, but honestly, I really don't want to. But these individuals are close, and I could reach out to them and say, "Hey, you think you can give me a recommendation?" And this is a CEO of a big company, right? And he'd be like, "Yeah, of course, anytime, anything," right? uh, it's awesome to have that kind of relationship. I know not everyone's gonna run into that situation or keep ties with people that they went to school with, like junior high school, or even college. So, but as you're building out and you're interacting with people, no matter where you go, you could go to a conference, you can go to, some, you frequent a bagel shop. You never know who's actually over there. If you see them frequently, you kind of small talk leads to big things sometimes. You never know. All right. So that's pretty much it. I want to be able to like exchange my thoughts and the way I operate with you guys. So you keep that in mind so you can actually build bigger and better networking. And who knows, maybe that person one day will be like, hey, I'm looking for XXX. And then you're like, hey, I can fill that. I fit that criteria. You want to talk more. And then, of course, things always happen in weird ways. But anyway, guys, I thank you for being here. Please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and I appreciate you guys always being here. All right, bye.